So in this video, I'm going to talk about 5 things I hate about being a recruiter. So if you've been a recruiter, a recruitment consultant, or you run your own agency, you can probably agree with this. And if you're not a recruiter or you're looking to start a business or become a recruiter, this will give you some insight into the pain points we're going to go through. Now, if you can handle all of these on this list, there's about 5, you'll probably be okay with being a recruiter. Some things I've changed over time. I've found other things I hate and I've managed to kind of fix them. But these ones I can't fix. I haven't figured out a way to fix. But we're going to go through it now. So number 1 on this list is payments. For some reason, recruiters get paid way later than anyone else. So if you do a job, you probably get paid, I don't know, the same month. Recruiters sometimes are waiting 3-4 months for their payment. So how it works is a client gets a placement with a candidate that you referred. When they start, 30 days after that. So if the candidate has a notice period, things can go wrong within that time. That's fine. That's part and parcel of it. However, sometimes you're waiting 2 to 3 months for the payment to go through. Minimum about a month. I like to run businesses, or I like ideas, etc., that I get paid up front. Ideally, I would like to be paid up front. I can't change that because it's contingent. Some people might say to me, oh, why don't you just do a retainer? Well, if I call my client and say, hi, Mr. Client, I'm charging you up front, he'll say, that's fine. I've got 5 other contingent agencies that will do it without charging me up front. Thank you and goodbye. Yeah, not all of them, but 99% of them would do that. So that doesn't work for most clients, yeah, in the market. The whole industry is based about contingent. You're an agent, you get paid after. That's fine. It's big money. We get paid to do what we do, yeah? But I just don't think that's going to change. Sure, I can negotiate 15-day payment terms. I've got some clients on that. Some clients pay before. It's fine. I used to work for an agency that used to say as soon as we made a placement, we invoice 30 days after that. Still, we're waiting. So number 2 is the competition. Now, it's not the competition as in there's so much, it's saturated, etc. The competition is very low quality. Anyone could be a recruiter. Anyone can start an agency. Anyone can go and get a job as a recruiter and start working with no training. So there's a very, very perceived notion of recruiters being very low quality. Yeah, there's not many consultants in the market. So I find anyone that I speak to when I say I'm a recruiter, they get a perceived notion of I'm just after a fee, which we are. That's fine. But they see us as low quality in terms of, oh, you know, he's just trying to squeeze me. He's a salesman. People have that perceived notion of it. So it's not the case of, hey, look, oh, we're going to be a recruiter and everyone's going to love us. It's a high quality. They'll look at doctors in a certain light, but they won't look at recruiters in a certain light. So I hate that about the competition. It's low quality. The only thing that will fix that is maybe a regulated license to become a recruiter, or a big fee. So if it costs £10,000, that will get rid of a lot of the bad recruiters, put it that way. So the other flip side, number 3, is bad clients. Now, I can tell you a lot of horror stories about bad clients. There are some fantastic clients. Bad for me and bad for the clients is what I mean. So you don't know, if you start to work with a client, you don't know if they're good. Yeah, they could be good for me, but they might not be good for the candidate. Let's say they pay well, the fees are good, but it's a horrible place to work. I'm not going to know that as a remote recruiter. I'm never going to know that if I've never worked with them. So I could take someone, in theory, out of their job. They might get a little pay rise, or it might be closer to home, but it might be a bad place to work. Can you imagine the feeling of that if that happens? So it's very important, very early on, it's very hard to find out about bad clients. And likewise, clients finding bad recruiters or anyone else, they wouldn't know the difference. They don't know if that's a good recruiter, bad recruiter. It's the same thing. So that's one of the issues I have, is placing a candidate in a job that the client isn't good. Thankfully, I have an established business with what I feel is top quality clients in terms of people like working there. They've got their rate. So as you grow your business and become a more experienced recruiter, you'll realize, okay, that's a bad client. Everyone keeps leaving there. I mean, I've worked with clients where I've placed 4 people and everyone's left in the first few weeks. Yeah. At the second one, I should have stopped working with them. But I was determined to give a good service and do that, but I quickly realized, etc. Yeah. So number 4 on this list is the fees are dropping. When I started in recruitment, it's nearly 10 years now. I think it's 10 years. The fees were averaging you would be struggling to kind of get away with saying 15%. Yeah. 15% was the low end. Now it seems like the whole model is changing. It's becoming like a 10, 15, 12, 8, some flat fees. Certain industries, yeah, someone's going to come and comment on the video and say, oh, I've got clients on 25%. Well, good for you, mate. Yeah. Show the bank account and we'll see how many pay. Fees are high, the expectations high is what I say. Yeah. And the thing I hate about it, I don't mind the saturation in the market. It is supply and demand, but sometimes it doesn't warrant it being profitable. I don't want the recruitment relationship to be about the fees. That's important to me. So I just want it to be like something amicable where most recruiters will see, okay, for me, 10%, if it's an easy fill, 15%, it's just a general pricing is all off. Like a hard to fill position at 10%, no one's going to work on it and you're never going to fill that role. So it is about the clients and it is about supply and demand and it is about how the relationship forms with you and the client. But I hate that part about it. And I just want to see, it seems like a race to the bottom. And if one client says, oh, we're on 10% and that's what they want to pay, recruiters will dilute the market and say, yeah, I'll work with that just to get the client on board. And that just gives a bad light. And, you know, if there are expert clients that are charging 10%, you don't know what you're getting. The price doesn't relate to the level of service. So that's my point on that. So the fifth reason would be candidates. And candidates in a nice way. There are a lot of issues around candidates. Sure, they do not owe recruiters anything. Yeah, they're the one that's changing their job, moving house, etc. So the one thing about candidates, and I'm very thick-skinned, it doesn't bother me. I have a high volume, so one or two candidates falling out makes no difference. But not showing up for interviews, there seems to be a disconnect or a lack of relationship to the client on the candidate side in certain markets. They do not show up for interviews, or they use their job offer to get a pay rise at their current role. That's a very, very sneaky way to do it. I would never personally do it, and I don't care because I'm a recruiter. I'm not saying it. I just can't get over the fact that people do that. And I just think that's a problem that will never get fixed. Yeah. In fact, I would see it getting worse. And there's really nothing you can do about it because you never know someone's intentions. A 5 minute, a half an hour conversation, speaking for months. Someone might say, yeah, I've got a pay rise. Let me go to my employer. Sorry, I can't take the job. I've got a pay rise. And funny enough, when the candidate pool is very shallow, these are the things that happen. Yeah. So my 5 points, you know, the payments take too long. Money takes too long. Low quality competition, which makes us all look bad. Bad clients. Number one, you don't know if you're putting someone in a bad job or bad company to work for. The fees seem to be a race to the bottom. And number 5, candidates not showing up or using their job offer for a pay rise. So these are the 5 things I hate about recruitment that will never get fixed. And I don't think it's going to get fixed anytime soon. However, they're the only 5 problems I can really think of. Everything else after that, if you can get over it, that's a reality. Take care.